Now, beauty is subjective, yes, but in my opinion, as I got older, I started looking better, not worse. So in this video, I'm gonna share everything I did to glow up over the past 8-ish years or so. And as you can tell by these photos, I still look like me, but just better. So I'm just gonna be super honest, share everything I've done, whether I've had any cosmetic procedures or not, and just everything that I think has specifically helped me. So let's dive in. Hey friends, welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Jillz and I help women step into their power, tap into their divine feminine, and become their best self. So if that's something you want to do, you should subscribe and stick around. And in case you want more from me, don't forget to check out my Awaken Your Feminine Energy course or any of my other digital products like my Notion template or my workbooks, etc. They are all linked down below. So I'm just gonna get right to it, but just a heads up, I'm not saying that you need to do any of these things. I'm just simply sharing what I feel like has helped me look better. So with that said, let's just get to it because I have a lot that I want to mention. So the first thing that I did that not a lot of people are going to like to hear, because we all know this makes us look better, but no one wants to admit it, is that I started finally really taking care of myself and I dramatically changed my diet. So I went from eating like processed junky food, lots of takeout, to eating mostly home cooked meals, very just like natural foods and simple foods. And that really changed the way that I looked. My skin got better. It kind of changed the way that my body looked, made it so I was like less inflamed and less puffy everywhere. I just started looking better. And another thing that I did that some people might not agree with, and that's totally okay. I'm not saying you have to do this, but I started increasing my protein portions, specifically my animal protein portions. I only eat like high quality animal protein, so like organic, grass-fed, pasture-raised, or if it's fish, I really like fish, then like wild fish. But when I started eating more meat and things like that, I noticed that my skin really started improving. Not necessarily acne-wise, but my skin started improving in its like plumpness and youthfulness. And I even noticed with my lips, they got a teeny tiny bit bigger as well. And I thought that I may just be making this up, but I looked it up on the internet and apparently like this is a thing that some people have experienced. So I'm not the only one, but yeah, I'm not saying that you have to eat meat, but when I dramatically improved my diet, I started looking better. And a lot of people want a shortcut beauty, they want a shortcut health, but you have to go back to the basics, right? Are you eating well is one really, really important basic. And when you change this habit in your lifestyle, you will start to glow. Now, the second thing I did to glow up was I stopped dyeing my hair. So I used to be platinum blonde, as you can tell by this photo. I was bleaching my hair probably every 8 weeks or so. I don't really remember, but a lot. I was blonde as a kid, but as I got older, this is what happens with a lot of blondes when they're children, is as they get older it turns brown, or like dark dirty blonde or light brown, and that's what happened with me. But once I started seeing it get darker, I wanted to change that, and I like kept dyeing it, and then I just kept dyeing it lighter and lighter and lighter and more blonde, and eventually that of course took a huge toll on the health of my hair, and it just started not looking so good, and it didn't even feel like me anymore. So I decided that I was just gonna quit. I was just gonna stop cold turkey, and I grew it out, and it was a very ugly process, but I did it. And when eventually it all grew out after like, I don't remember, 2 years or so, my hair was so much healthier. It was so much shinier, so much stronger. And I really do believe that the natural tones that you're born with will usually make you look your best and make you look your most radiant. So now what I do is I have my natural color hair, but I do get baby highlights, baby highlights once a year, every spring, and that's it. And it just kind of grows out, and I do that once a year, and I think that's like the perfect little thing for me. The third thing that I did to look better is that I started washing my hair more. Okay, so you know how there was this really huge trend of like people not washing their hair, and even still it's like very, very popular. I think that that can work really well with some hair types, but with other hair types, not at all. And especially like thinner, more fine hair like mine, it just didn't work. And I would try to oil train my hair and it never really worked. And it just made me look really ugly. And it just didn't make me look like polished and put together. And so one thing that I did was I just started simply washing my hair more. I usually wash my hair every other day now, and that's just has made me look a lot better. I mean, everyone just looks better with freshly washed hair. And number 4, I stopped drinking alcohol. I was never really a big drinker, but I did drink alcohol occasionally because honestly, that's just what everybody did, you know? So I just drank alcohol, but I never really enjoyed it. It never really just vibed with me, so I cut it out. I still maybe drink like once a year or something, but I basically don't drink any alcohol anymore, and that will make you look better for sure. When you drink a lot of alcohol, it makes you puffy. It just kind of takes that glow from you, and you'll notice when you cut it out, a lot of people have noticed this when they cut it out, they look better, they're less puffy and bloated, and they lose weight, and you just look better. So that's something that I cut out, and I really think it's helped me. Now, the 5th thing that I did, this is the only cosmetic procedure that I have ever done. I haven't done like Botox or fillers or anything like that, or anything other than this thing. I got my teeth done earlier this year. So this was a more recent thing, but I got veneers on the top teeth, on the top 10, I think. I shared this in a vlog back when I got this, but I'll give you a brief overview. When I was younger, I fell on my face like way too many times, and I really damaged some of my teeth, and I damaged some of them so badly that they died. And when they die, they lose their color and they start slowly turning brown. And so as I got to be like a teenager, my teeth started getting brown, which is obviously not very attractive. Basically, I had to get them fixed, and it was either veneers or get them taken out and get implants. And so I obviously chose the veneer route because that's a lot easier. And so I got veneers on some of my front teeth, just the front teeth, when I was like 17 or so. I think I was 17. And then I had those until this past year, and they were fine, but they never looked great because I had some teeth that were veneers and some teeth weren't. And it always just, it was really hard to like keep that harmony in my mouth. It was really hard to keep my natural teeth the same exact color as the veneers. And it was just really annoying, and I just wanted to be done with it. And so I just decided to get my whole top row of teeth as veneers, and now they're just in harmony and I don't have to worry about it. And it's just done. I put it off for way too long. I wish I had done it earlier, but it's really, really, really expensive. And 2, I have terrible dental anxiety. So both those things made me put it off for several years. But I wish I had done it earlier because now I just like enjoy smiling more. Next thing that I did was I changed the way that I exercise and the way that I thought about exercise and just how I moved my body in general. Because before, when I was younger, my exercise routine was like, whenever I'd exercise, I would exercise very intensely and I would really, really push it. But then I wouldn't exercise for 2 weeks, and then I would exercise intensely, and then I'd take a whole week off, and then I'd exercise intensely, and then 3 weeks would go by and I wouldn't do anything, and then I'd exercise intensely, right? So I didn't have like a good routine. Whereas now I focus a lot more on consistency and just doing more gentle, low impact things. So lots and lots of walking. Walking will literally improve your body like nothing else will. If you aren't doing anything, just start walking a lot, like every single day, and after a month, you will notice a difference. I also do Pilates and like gentle strength training with lighter weights. Those are all things that I really enjoy, and doing all of that together has really changed the way that I look. And because a lot of it is more low impact, I feel like I get less of that like inflamed puffiness that can sometimes happen, at least for me, when I work out really hard. Number 7 is having hobbies that specifically make you active. So I'm not just talking about like just working out to work out. I'm talking about actual hobbies. So like for me, walking outside is a really big hobby of mine. I really enjoy it. Also going to pickleball. Pickleball is really, really fun. You should try it. And also dance classes. I like that as well. And so these are hobbies of mine that actually get me going, make me active, and get my body in shape and make me look better. You know, there's so many good hobbies out there. Like I also enjoy reading, but reading doesn't make me look better. I think it's really important to have at least one hobby that makes you active. And if you can do this with friends, that's even better. Like probably 50 to 60% of my hangouts with friends are just me going on long walks with them. That's it. It's like we'll just walk for 2 hours in nature and we'll just talk the whole time. And it's just so fun, and you're doing something good for your body, and it's gonna make you look your best. find an active hobby. The next thing that I did is that I have really put in a lot of effort to calm my nervous system and reduce any stress in my life. So for me personally, I did this in many different ways. The first thing is that I quit my corporate job that I really didn't like. It was super draining for me. It was a huge energy suck for me. It kept me really stressed. And honestly, I think that time in my life, that was when I actually looked the worst. And it was because, yes, I was stressed and maybe not sleeping as much, but also because I just was not as fulfilled in my life. Second thing is that I heavily prioritized my sleep. So I went from sleeping like 6 to 7 hours a night and thinking that was fine to now aiming for 8 or 9 or even more if I can. And I mean, they call it beauty sleep for a reason. Another thing is that I got outside more. I just prioritized spending more time in nature, spending more time outside in general. Like back when I was living in California, I really tried to go to the beach more. That was one of my goals. And I really think that just like getting outside more in nature, grounding myself more in nature, really helped to like calm my nervous system and reduce my stress. Another thing was prioritizing lower impact workouts into my routine, which I've already mentioned, and just not doing any exercise that would like stress out my body too much. And even to tiny little things, like instead of just having your annoying phone alarm in the morning waking you up, I got the Hatch. This isn't sponsored at all, but I just really like it as my alarm clock because it wakes you up nice and slow with this light that gets brighter and brighter, and then you can pick like really nice sounds like wind chimes or bird noises, and it's just so much calmer for the nervous system. Another thing that I did to reduce my stress was that I intentionally tried to do less in my life, but be consistent with the stuff that I was doing. So basically, I tried to take off as much from my plate as I could and really think about like, okay, what are my priorities in my life? Like, I don't want to fill up my calendar, my to-do list with all these random things. I want to just keep it really simple, and I want to do those things well, and I want to be consistent with those things. I stopped feeling like I had to prove myself to other people, and I just decided to keep it simple. I did the things that mattered to me. I outsourced anything that I could, and I just realized that me doing more doesn't always equal to better. It doesn't always mean you're gonna be more successful. It doesn't mean that you're more valuable. And so I really tried to just be ruthless with my time and energy and cut things from my to-do list that weren't actually adding value to my life. I also decided that if I wanted to reduce my stress levels, I needed to lessen my contact with people who were energy draining and were just overall more negative. And so I reduced my exposure to them, and I just started reducing my stress levels in general overall. And I just kind of adopted this mindset like, we're good. Like, we're just on a floating rock in space and we're chilling. The most beautiful women, or at least the women who really like glow the most, they tend to be the less stressed. Whether they actually have like no stressors in their life or they just have a really good mindset where that stress doesn't affect them, either way, getting rid of stress will make you look better. Like, no questions. Now, number 9, I simplified my skincare routine. I used to use a lot more products and a lot more harsh products on my skin. You know, back when I was like a teenager, I would use Proactive, which is like very harsh, and that never made my skin better. My skin is always better when it's a more simple approach, a more gentle approach. And after cutting out using so many different products and switching to non-toxic products, my skin started looking just a bit like happier and healthier. And I just decided that like my skin knows what it's doing and I'm just going to support it, but I'm not gonna like take over, you know what I mean? So I just kept it simple. Now, next thing though, I figured out the foods which made me break out in acne. Now, my skin is not like perfect when it comes to acne sort of stuff. I still get bumps here and there, but my skin is much better than it used to be. Like, I used to have really problem skin. And it was because, one, I was eating very bad. Like, if I eat just a bunch of processed food takeout, my skin's gonna erupt in acne. But I also figured out the foods that were specifically giving me blemishes on my face. So gluten, dairy, eggs, and any sort of nuts. Now, I'm not sure if these are just like sensitivities that I have, or if maybe my gut is just not fully healed and so I'm reacting to these foods. I haven't fully figured that out yet, but either way, when I eat these sort of foods regularly, I immediately notice a reaction in my skin. And I am a lot more confident in the way that I look, and I feel like I just look better when I have less acne going on. I think a lot of us don't want to be dealing with acne. It's very annoying. And it took me probably like 4 years to realize that I was sensitive to nuts, because nuts is like, you know, almonds, cashews, that's like a health food. It's like what people eat for like healthy snacks, or like almond butter, you know? But it was just actually not working for me. It was making me break out. When it comes to acne though, another thing that I have been doing for years, whenever I get any sort of like flare-ups or problems, or I eat a lot of food that doesn't agree with me and then I get flare-ups of stuff, then I will like affirm to myself, like manifesting, I will affirm to myself that I have clear, flawless skin, I have healthy skin, my skin is clear, and I will only focus on the areas of my face that are clear from blemishes. So if I have like a big blemish right here, I usually don't get any on my cheeks or my forehead. And so when I'm looking at myself in the mirror, I'll keep my attention on my cheeks and my forehead, because that's what's clear. And I want to bring focus to the areas that are good rather than the things that aren't going as well. And so I just affirm to myself over and over again that I have clear skin, and whatever blemishes, whatever acne comes up is just temporary, because that's just not who I am. You know, I learned so much about manifesting over the past several years, so I started applying it to also my beauty and my face, and it really does make a difference. Next thing is that I learned how to do my makeup a little bit better, because before what I was doing is, you know, you'll like see people with their makeup on, you'll be like, oh, that's cool, I want to do that. But just because somebody else looks good doing something or having a certain makeup style or makeup color, it doesn't mean it's gonna look good on you. And I think with makeup is just really learning to enhance your natural beauty, not try to become somebody that you're not, because it never really fully works unless you're like an incredibly talented makeup artist, which I am not. So a good tip is to actually find someone who looks like you and has similar features to you, that, you know, you like their look and you like their makeup, and try to mimic that instead of just mimicking some random person on the internet, even though she looks nothing like you. Like before, when I was younger, I would see these people on YouTube or something, and they would do this makeup look, and it was very like warm and glowy. And I was like, oh, I would love to do that, especially because I'm more cool and I'm like, oh, I want to add warmth to my face, right? But actually, because I'm cool, when I add warmth to my face, or when I add warm toned products, it actually tends to wash me out more. And it's because I'm fighting against my natural beauty and my natural aesthetic. Whereas if I wear more cool toned makeup, it'll just make everything look better, and that will actually add a little bit more life and warmth and glow to my face. So understand your face, your beauty, and don't try to fight it, accentuate it. Now, next, number 12, I think my face started becoming a little bit more sculpted. And to be honest, I think that that's mostly because as we age, we just lose some of that baby fat in our face. And I think for some people, it can make people look better, and other people might not like the way that that looks. But I think for me, I think it actually made me look better, because as you can see, I already naturally have a wide face. I have a wide jaw. I used to be really insecure about it when I was younger. Now I like it, but back then I always like was embarrassed by it. But when I had that extra baby fat like on my cheeks and everywhere, it just kind of made it even more wide, and it just, I don't think it looked as good. Whereas just with my natural face shape, I think it looks a little bit better being a little bit more sculpted. And so just because of that aging process, I think some of that went away, but also some other things that I have done over the years is gua sha, facial massage, and of course, just eating better, moving my body more. I do think that I lost a tiny bit of weight in my face, which will help it be a little more sculpted. Same with like lowering your cortisol, lowering your stress, managing your nervous system. All of that will help to get rid of that puffy face. But again, I think most of it is honestly just from time and from natural aging. So next is that I got off birth control pills. Now again, of course, I'm not saying anyone else needs to do this to look their best, but I'm just saying that I feel like birth control pills sucked the feminine life out of me. And because here's the thing, when you are having a natural cycle, and for anyone who's like very in touch with their menstrual cycle, you will notice this. We have the 4 different phases, right? When we're in our follicular and our ovulatory phases, which is around our ovulation, we tend to just have this like natural glow to us, and we tend to just really look our best without doing anything. And I think that's because of the increase in estrogen. But when you're on hormonal birth control, that stops ovulation. And so you don't get that sort of, ovulation spike, that estrogen spike. And I feel like I just never really looked as good when I was on my birth control pills. And again, not saying that you should get off of it. For some people, birth control pills is absolutely the right option, but for me, it really wasn't. And not just because I felt like it made me didn't look my best, but it just had a whole slew of other problems that came with it. Like, I was not as happy, I had no libido, it made my skin ugly, just a bunch of things. And so I was a lot happier, a lot healthier, and I think a little bit prettier when I stopped it. Next thing is that I learned my color season. I am a summer, and I'm pretty sure this top is in my color season. It's like a purpley brown. I think it is, but you really just look so much better when you're wearing colors that accentuate your natural beauty and not fight against it, right? So with the color season, summers and winters are cool toned. And then if you're warmer toned, then you would be a spring or an autumn. And when I got my colors done, like you could see when she would hold up the different colors to my face, you could see that I would just immediately, with warmer tones, I would look a little bit more yellow and just like not in a good way. And my face would be less defined and my hair would just be like flat and not interesting. And then I would put on this like beautiful blue color and all of a sudden my hair would come to life. You could see my eyes so much more and the whites of my eyes would get so much whiter and my jaw would look more defined. And it seems like such a little thing, like, oh, how is the color you're wearing really gonna affect that much? And it is subtle, but like it's there. So something that I've done is just really try to dress more according to my color season. Of course, at the end of the day, I'm just gonna wear whatever I wanna wear, but my closet is definitely much more aligned with the summer palette now, and that really does help me to look my best. I do have a vlog where I got my colors professionally done. If you wanna check it out and watch it, I always find it really interesting. I'll put it up here and down below, but you really do just glow a little bit different when you're wearing the right colors. And again, like because I wanted to have more of that warm glow to me, I would be like, oh, I need to wear warm colors. But when I put on warm colors, it actually takes away from me and my natural beauty. And so when I wear more cool colors, then I actually look a little bit more vibrant and I have more of that glow to me. So again, you gotta play to your natural strengths. You gotta play to who you are. You can't fight with who you are. This is who you're born with, and you just gotta accentuate it. Now, the next thing is understanding your contrasts, okay? Now, I hesitated to put this in this video, not because it's not helpful, but because I don't know if I can quite articulate it very well, but there are a ton of really helpful YouTube videos on this topic, so I would recommend checking them out if you wanna learn more about contrast. But contrast is basically the contrast that is naturally on your face. So like basically if you are low, medium, or high contrast. So like someone who's high contrast, a good example would be someone with like black hair, but really pale skin, right? They have a lot of contrast between their features. Whereas someone who's really tan or like, has a little bit of a tan and is like more blonde, that's more low contrast. So basically what I've learned a little bit over the years that if you are naturally a low contrast person, then you will naturally look a little bit better and it will just like fit your essence more when you do just like softer, more low contrast makeup and wear a low contrast outfit. Because it just like the whole package of you just like fits together. Whereas if you're a high contrast person, then if you do a little bit more high contrast makeup, like maybe a bold lip or something, and a more high contrast outfit, then that'll just fit you more and it'll just like fit your essence and it'll make you stand out more. I honestly think I'm more medium contrast, so I feel like I can like kind of swing both ways sometimes if I want to, but I realize that if I am wearing a low contrast outfit and then I do like high contrast makeup, it's almost like too much. Like it just doesn't fit the essence. Whereas if I'm wearing a really high contrast outfit or I'm wearing a color like, for example, black, something that's really dark and high contrast against me, if I don't wear enough makeup, I won't show up. I will just be overpowered by that contrast. Like if I wear black, I will always put on like my black liquid winged eyeliner, more of a brighter lip so that I will show up. because I have to like create that contrast. I know I don't do a great job breaking this down and explaining it, so I really recommend you go watch some YouTube videos. There's a really good makeup one that I've seen. If I find it, I'll link it down below. But it's just like something to check out for sure. Like once you understand your contrast, then it'll again just help you to like accentuate your natural beauty. And then just some of the little things that I've done, like doing my nails regularly. I got my first brush and manicure yesterday and it's amazing. But I used to never really get my nails done, and whenever my nails aren't done, I will pick at them sometimes, and so they're not cute. And so something I've done over the past several years is just always get them done, or I do press on nails. But I really feel like it just completes the package and it just makes you look so clean and polished, especially if you just choose like a more natural color. I mean, I love a good red sometimes and things like that as well, but I tend to stick to like more light pinks or even a French nail sometimes. Next thing though too is that if you're out and about all day, you will look so much better throughout the day if you bring just like a few products to touch up with throughout the day. Like I used to always think like, oh, why do I always look so bad by the end of the day? And it's because a lot of other people will go to the bathroom and like, you know, touch up their lipstick or maybe a little blot of whatever on here, I don't know. I'm usually not gone all day, so I don't usually do this. But if you are gone all day, I think it's really helpful to bring just like a little pack of your favorite little things, your lipstick and your maybe something for your skin and whatever makes you look your best. But I think that simply just reapplying will help you to keep that glow throughout the day. Another little thing that I do is that I give myself abdominal massages sometimes. So this is only really if I'm ever feeling bloated, but if you particularly struggle with bloat or things like that, or even honestly going to the bathroom sometimes, basically you just take some oil, like whatever body oil you have, coconut oil is fine or something like that, and you just put it on your hands or your belly, and then you just give yourself like this belly massage. You go in a clockwise motion and you just go all around your belly and just put on a show for like 20 or 30 minutes. Just lay on the couch and just do this for like 30 minutes. And at the end of it, your bloat will be so much better. You're gonna feel so much better. It's gonna look better. It's really just like a good thing to do sometimes. And last but not least, I really try to focus on the good. The more you focus on the good, the more good comes into your life. And the more good comes into your life, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the better you look and the more you glow. I really do believe that mindset plays a role in the way that you physically look. And I'm not just talking about your energy or your vibe that you give off. I mean, I think it can actually physically affect the way that you look and the way your face looks and your body looks. I mean, when I was less happy in my life and less fulfilled and less aligned in my life, you could see it on me. You could see it in my face. You could see it in my eyes. And I mean, think about it. If you're frowning all the time, you're gonna get wrinkles like that. And so that frown's just gonna be permanently on your face. Have gratitude for the things that are already in your life. Don't be afraid to forgive. It doesn't mean that you have to accept what they've done, but you can still forgive them and let it go. And have acceptance of the things that you can't change or the things that are outside of your control. So that's it for my glow up tips, but be sure to share your best glow up tips in the comments below. I think it'd be so cool if it's just like girls supporting girls in the comment section, sharing their best glow up tips, whether it's, you know, something really common or something really unusual and niche, doesn't matter, share it below. But that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got value out of this video, and I will see you next time in my next one. Bye.